In this episode, we're going to look forward as to what the markets could do in the next session. We know because of Rule 446, all markets are intercorrelated and interdependent. We're going to look through the Tier 1 charts and also a handful of the Tier 2 charts as well. We're going to apply the CTKS method to those charts, which is the world's most advanced smart money buy and sell level detection system that you can apply to any price chart. And you can learn it for yourself through the ctksmethod.org or also inside the masterclass. Links are in the description of this video. We're also going to cover off the differences between retail and professional. Professionals make money, retail loses money. But retail doesn't lose money to professionals. That's not the way the market works. The market is simply a synchronization device. If you are synchronized, you make money. And it doesn't matter if you're retail or professional. That's how it works. But if you are desynchronized, you will lose money. The market will take the money from you. It's the market that you compete against, not other people. And the truth is, you don't even compete against the market, you compete against your own synchronization. This video is all about upping your synchronization, which is required if you want to be successful. Stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun. In the past trading session, we saw risk come into the market with that jump in junk bonds. That was very nice for the NASDAQ, and we saw the VIX is starting to just turn around slightly. Just keep your eye on the VIX. I think it's very important. It's quite overextended to the negative side. We saw a slight retracement in the DXY and yields, and that was pretty reasonable going for both Bitcoin and gold. The next FOMC meeting is in about 5 days. There's currently a 28.8% probability of a 25 basis point increase. Bitcoin is a very good way of measuring risk on or risk off inside financial markets. And what did we see? Bitcoin in the past 24 hours, just down slightly. But what you can actually notice, ADA really hammered, Solana hammered, Matic hammered, Doge going the other way, XRP being strong, BNB just a little bit weaker, as is Ethereum. There was a lot of good news overnight. For the CTKS method service, the euro versus the dollar, or euro dollar, was released, and silver was released also. The US 10 2-year was released the day before, as was Apple, and Tesla the day before that. If you just go across to your notifications tab, that's that little bell there, you will see it. And all the new members and everybody who is part of the service, your indicators are now updated. If you're going to do anything successfully, you need to know the rules. The rules of global financial markets. Tier 1 charts move the markets. They're the engines of global financial markets. What those charts do will impact everything that you invest or trade in. All the Tier 1 charts indicators have been released. The Tier 2s are very important as well, and we'll have a look at the silver indicator and the euro dollar indicator a little bit later on. Thank you very much to Rundle Rich. Thanks JNK. Wow, the CTKS method service is fantastic. The videos as well are exciting. I love the intros. The service is now doing videos and indicators for every single thing that is covered by the service. And what does that actually mean? It means that I take you through a specific chart, say the DXY, looking out towards the end of the month. I give you potential price paths for the upside, the neutral side, and the downside, and we always start with the downside first. It's all about synchronization, and Rundle Rich does a very good job in this particular comment of getting synchronization together. When the DXY goes down, it loses the attention as a flight to safety, so fear leaves the market, which brings down the VIX. Increased risk on will then bring attention back into junk bonds. However, junk bonds have overhead resistance and the VIX has support below. Really good work, Rundle Rich. One of the things that you always want to bear in mind is your three-dimensional risk management. Three-dimensional risk management is an area that I developed. It's what professionals do by nature, but they don't typically translate that into financial markets for people to understand. Why is that? Because it's so incredibly valuable. Three-dimensional risk management is all about raising your synchronization factor. Always remember, you control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. And that return is always based on your active learning, your knowledge, and your courage. Always take the down case first, the neutral case second, and the up case third. One thing that we see with the dollar, which currently closed at 103.553. It has a lot of overhead resistance around this 103.797 mark and that 103.849 mark. Please bear that in mind. If the dollar DXY spikes up, it's going to encounter a lot of algorithmic resistance, smart money resistance, institutional resistance, which can push the DXY down. To understand where the DXY is going, and please let me know in the comments, why is it important to understand where the DXY is going? It's a very, very important active learning question. As a former lecturer in first and second year statistics, I could give my students the answers, but that doesn't help them, because when they need to apply the knowledge in the real world, they need to know and understand what they're doing. That's why these active learning questions are here for you. And you're part of a beautiful, supportive, and incredible global family. Everybody lifts each other up. You'll see it inside the comments. On behalf of myself and Kate, I would like to say to our global family, we both appreciate you so very much. Let's have a look at the euro. First note that the DXY has this overhead resistance. And the Tier 2 chart that was just released, the euro dollar, has this overhead resistance. But it's much, much closer to price. It could gravitate back before getting sold down to this 107.020 mark. The euro dollar closed out at 107.460. Don't forget, the DXY and the euro dollar tend to confirm each other. They also move in opposite directions. You can see the DXY just spiked down during this process. The euro dollar did exactly the opposite, but it couldn't pass through this strong resistance. These Standfield levels, or SLs, tell us where the ceiling of price is inside financial markets. It literally gives us X-ray vision of where true resistance and support really are. Thank you, Owen. Owen said, "Good afternoon, everybody. Smash that like button." What a beautiful thought. We can see that junk bonds is currently weakening. It's in all likelihood coming back to that 91.33. It's currently 91.60. This will impact all of financial markets. You must be aware of junk bonds. Thank you to PH. PH said, "Dear Ken, thank you for the videos. Request, could you highlight the SLs a bit more? The thinner lines are hard to see on my Apple laptop." Of course, my friend. You can see that I've already changed. Actually, I read your comment and I put that logic inside those two CTKS Method service videos, the euro and silver. I'm here to help, and I really want everybody in our global family to succeed as much as humanly possible. Bitcoin, unlike the lazy main markets, trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It just doesn't sleep. And Bitcoin is currently 26,485. The beautiful thing, if you're inside the service, you get all the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 indicators absolutely free of charge. They're included in your monthly subscription. That means you can apply them to your own charts and actually watch it in real time. How cool is that? When we look at Bitcoin's price structure, it has an SL at 25,920 and a smart money sell level at 27,015. Let's turn our attention to another tier 1 chart, the VIX. The VIX tried to spike through this very heavy resistance at 1384 when price was below it. It encountered those smart money sell levels, got pushed back, and you can see price bounding between SL to SL. The VIX closed out at 1383. And thank you very much to Tails. Tales from the Man Cave said, "Family, the like button smash party is on. I want to see at least 50% likes to views ratio. Currently under 25%. We can do better than that, can't we?" Oh, Tales, how beautiful, my friend. The thing that we can see with the VIX, you can see that the smart money SL just stopped the VIX in its tracks and gravitationally pulled it backwards. However, if the VIX gets above that, wow, things could be very, very interesting. On the daily channel, I only show a bit of positive momentum, basically the level above and the level below. If you want to see all the levels for the month, just tune in to the monthly service and you'll get the indicator, this little one, and you can put it on your own hot charts. Unfortunately, the majority of people do not look broadly. They only look at what they trade or invest in. And they will frequently get caught off guard by doing so. A big thank you to Crypto Badger. The Standfield levels allow us to analyze charts and their interplay on a whole other level. The CTKS method is true eagle vision. Thank you, Crypto Badger. Let's pop on our eagle vision, and we know eagles can see really, really well. How do we do that? Well, we just pop on the indicator. And what do we see? Wow, this is cool. Look at Apple. Apple closed out at 181.07. But look at this absolute abundance of support below. We could expect Apple to do a technical bounce up here. But what do we notice up here? There's no resistance. It is possible for Apple to shoot upwards. That would catch so many people off guard. One thing that I would like you to note, when price gets above steep resistance levels and turns it into support, something unique happens. I want to show you what that looks like. When resistance turns to support, and we're looking at Tesla now, at around, you can see, just a day or so ago, where Tesla was trading down at this smart money resistance level, it turned it to support around that 231 mark, and then it jumped. Where did it jump to? It jumped to an SL, and it's trying to hold on to it at the moment. When price moves up too fast, too quickly, price must consolidate, and it generally consolidates in a negative momentum as people take profits. A big thank you to FT. FT said the CTKS service is such a time saver on the daily journey to synchronization with the market. Thank you, my friend. Burperatum has been very active in the comments with these little abbreviations. Please let me know if you know what PMIW means. Burperatum is giving you a little bit of a clue there. And thank you, my friend. Indeed, let's run the numbers. The US 10-year yield is very important to look at. If you don't know what the US 10-year and the US 2-year and you're in commodities, ouch, you're in trouble. One thing that we know, over the past couple of days, we've looked at the US 10-year. It came up to some pretty stiff resistance and it sold down, got caught by safety nets, and it's gravitationally pulled towards them. This is a really interesting question. Based on the charts that you've viewed already, what do you think the US 10-year could do in the next trading session? This is an active learning question and a really important one to understand. Most people couldn't care less about the US 10-year, and that's a huge mistake. But you only realize it if you try to understand it. What you will find is that yields play absolute havoc with commodities, especially gold and silver. When we look at gold, which is a tier 1 chart, if we turn on the indicator, where are the safety nets? Where are the ceilings? Because they're very important to know. We can see on the 7th that the safety nets were down here at around the 1939 mark. They caught price very nicely. Positive there meant that it was going for the next SL above it, around that 1954. Charging through that meant positive price momentum, the 1961 level. And note the smart money level above that, around that 1972 area. We know that SLs, price moves SL to SL. If you understand where the SLs are, you can understand what price is doing. And note, it literally came up and tapped the 1961 level. Just imagine, if you were looking at gold here, you'd probably say, well, it can't come down to 1961. Yes, it did. And it can't come back again. Yes, it did. Oh, it certainly couldn't go up to that 1972 mark. Well, yes, it did. And you can see that we're getting a bit of a weakening. This is opening up that 1954 level. Just keep your three-dimensional risk management in mind. A lot of this has to do with yields, the DXY, and also what the major indices are doing. Gold and sister love to hang out with each other, but what do we notice about silver's price? Currently $24.28. Look at this very, very heavy level of smart money sell resistance at 24.41. Silver tried to get through it, couldn't, retested the SL below at that 24.29 mark, tried to punch through, couldn't do it. It's back where it started. A whole lot of silver's journey depends on yields. Please keep this in mind. Looking at the major market indices is very, very important as well. There was an event on the Wednesday, the 7th of June at 10 a.m. I've been noting it with that kind of purple line. It's there in the background. You might want to go back and have a look at the different charts and see what happened. You can see the NASDAQ came down to somewhere, and then it pumped up to somewhere else. The question is, what's our X-ray vision on the NASDAQ? How do we know where it's going? And a lot of people in crypto would say, I don't care where it's going, Ken. I only care about my alt. And I don't even care about Bitcoin. It's too expensive. That's fair. That's a part in the journey, I guess. But the concept is you must know what's happening with the tier 1 and tier 2 charts, especially the tier 1s. If you don't know that, you're basically gambling. And the financial markets will desynchronize you if you do that. You must know what you're doing. Let's pop our X-ray vision on with the indicator that you get inside the service, and you can apply this to your own chart. What you can see is the NASDAQ has risen over this very, very heavy sell resistance when it was below. But these particular sell resistances have gravity. That's why I talk about gravity all of the time. Because when you understand that an SL has a gravitational pull, even if it goes below, it can come back. And this is what throws a lot of people. It's kind of like magnets repelling each other until they stick. Then they propel price upwards away from it, but they're still magnets, so they try to pull it back again, and this is what we're seeing. The NASDAQ closed at 13,259, and it's literally smack bang on a smart money buy area with a nice one below that at 13,205. So just bear these things in mind. That smart money sell level, or buy level I should say, is only $2 less than where the NASDAQ closed. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think might happen in the next trading session? Because with the CTKS method, we're not interested in what happened with price to the left. We're trying to determine what could happen with price to the right of the chart. It's quite revolutionary. Grey Motion raised a really important question. He said, I have a request, Ken. Binance US is moving to a crypto-only exchange. They sent an email saying that USD deposits have been suspended and all USD must be withdrawn by June the 13th. Otherwise, any USD balances remaining on the platform after June 15th may be converted to a stablecoin that can be withdrawn on-chain. A very big bummer. Could you take a moment in one of your videos to explain withdrawals on-chain? Of course, my friend, love to. Let's use a real example. You go to your bank, you withdraw $1,000 to deposit on Binance. You've now got $1,000 on Binance, and the banking system has $1,000 less inside it. Binance and crypto exchanges are not part of the traditional finance system. They exist outside of it. What you can do is that you can use the US dollars that you have on Binance to buy something, for example, like BNB, or it could be Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's just another crypto. A lot of people think that you must buy with fiat to crypto. Actually, what I do, I transfer whatever fiat I get into a stablecoin. That creates a crypto to crypto transaction. That's much, much better for tax purposes. It largely depends on how you hold your cash balance. Do you hold it in a stablecoin or in fiat? I hold all my cash balances in a stablecoin. I believe that's the best way to go. Why is that? Because if you have another exchange, you can literally transfer millions and millions of dollars of stablecoin between one exchange and another in literally 5 minutes. Fiat on-ramps and off-ramps are very difficult to navigate. The banking system is closing the on and off-ramps to the crypto industry simply because it can't afford the already run on deposits that it's had. And I've mentioned many times that the capital reserve requirements of banks are going up to 20%. This means that they don't have the money. If you go into your bank and say, I want to withdraw 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, assuming you have that, the concept is the bank will say, come back in a week, we don't have the money. Just give it a go, just try it out. Or if you have a friend who has that amount of money, just say, go to the bank and withdraw 200,000 and see how that goes. This is exactly why the banking system is closing off the off-ramps and the on-ramps. It has to. It's in peril. And it makes you think, if they are that shaky, these very, very large businesses, should I actually take more out? Because what if they collapse? Okay, thinking about the second part of this question, what are these withdrawals on chain? If you're part, and I always suggest that it's a good idea to have at least a couple of exchanges. When I was trading on the stock market, I had exchange accounts with all the major banks and brokers. Why did I do that? Wasn't that a waste of time? Not at all. Their different systems would go up and down at different times, and they had different functionality, and I could just transfer money onto whatever platform I felt like it. And one thing that I always saw when the stock market was tanking, just suddenly the bank's exchange platforms didn't work. Please let me know in the comments, have you ever experienced anything like that as well? Investopedia in March 31st, 2023 reviewed 28 cryptocurrency exchanges. The best crypto exchange they recommended for beginners was Coinbase. The best mobile app was Crypto.com. Best for security was Gemini. Best for altcoins, Bitmart Exchange. Best for Bitcoin, Cash App. And best decentralized exchange, BISC. Also, Kraken made it onto the list. Let's assume that you do the KYC, Know Your Customer, on Coinbase and Kraken and get approved for an account. You can just simply withdraw on-chain, withdrawals on-chain, your USDT to either Kraken or Coinbase. And these particular platforms, if they have off-ramps to the banking system, you can cash out your USDT to USD and then throw it back in the banking system if you wanted to. Personally, the banking system is becoming an increasing worry. If we look at exchange volume, just in the past 24 hours, Binance had $30.37 billion of volume. OKX, nearly $8.6 billion. BitTrue, $6.8 billion. BitGet, $6.2 billion. Coinbase, $775 million, all the way down there. Long-time viewers of the channel know that we've been looking at the banks and their instability for quite a while. The banks do need to cut off off-ramps and on-ramps to crypto because they're hemorrhaging money. The deposit outflows are just staggering, and I've been covering that in the past couple of weeks. But the concept is this withdrawal on chain is just a stable coin that you push from one exchange to another exchange. Literally no big deal. When we think that crypto is the next generation of the internet, it's the internet of money. If you could have been involved with the internet all those years ago, back in the inception of the internet, say around the 1990s, would you have want to have been, and would you have invested? It was a very, very turbulent time back then. I know, because I was running an internet service provider in 1993. Grey Motion, I hope that answers your question, my friend, and if you have any more questions, please let me know. And of course, to our beloved global family, our beautiful community, if you have questions that you would like me to answer like this, I would love to hear them. As a global family, we're all about persistence, commitment. We are dedicated people. We know that success isn't handed to us. We have to work incredibly hard for it. And how do we earn it? How do we earn success? We earn success by learning. Take the L out of learning and you have earning. As we grow in knowledge, it's sometimes easy for people to disrespect other people and especially themselves. Please look at it this way. If you respect others, those people are going to help you in your journey. If you forgive others, and especially if you forgive yourself, you can exponentially learn. I've said to a lot of my students, nobody has learning difficulties. They have forgiveness and blame difficulties. Therefore, having kindness is front and center on our agenda. Why is that? A lot of people would think kindness is weak. Kindness is not weak. Kindness with positive excellence comes with strength and boundaries. If people step out of line, they're going to know about it, but they're going to know about it through kindness. We've seen many in the crypto space lack integrity, decency, and loyalty. They've used negative excellence to become successful, and many of those people will spend the rest of their days behind bars. What is the point of earning a lot of money if you don't get to keep it? Therefore, inside our community, we are not a get-rich-quick community. We don't even care about thinking like that. We are a go-slow-to-go-fast community. And the comments in the recent videos about experiences going slow to go fast were just awesome. I read every comment and I love reading them. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing. As we enter the weekend, it's really easy to fall back on junk emotions. Like junk food, we have junk emotions, which are negative excellence emotions. If we have these emotions inside financial markets, we're going to get punished and we're going to lose our money. Every human being has, of course, negative excellence and positive excellence inside their personality. The key is to minimize the negative excellence. I don't think you can ever get rid of it, but you want to minimize it as much as possible, because negative excellence is all about sustainable misery, sustainable conflict, sustainable unhappiness, and sustainable failure. You don't want that in your life. It's a don't be list. Therefore, the Doobie List is really important. Ticking these green words will give you sustainable fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. All your relationships will improve, and especially the one you have with yourself. There are 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain positive excellence. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the negative excellence zones. That's why I talked about it today. Zone 3 has some negative excellence, but it has more positive excellence in it. And Zone 4 is the positive excellence zone. That's where we master fear. How do you master fear? You replace it with courage. Unfortunately, a lot of the world focuses on giving Negative excellence, the spotlight. The easiest way to grow a channel, grow a following, is to focus on negative excellence. Just say, for example, that you can get 1000x return and 0% loss and 100% return, and you can perfect all of these different things. Oh, it's just rubbish. You know, anybody that talks that way, just run. In financial markets, the way that you progress from zone 1 into zone 2 is to suffer losses. The way you progress from zone 2 into zone 3 is to suffer losses. You suffer so many losses getting from zone 2 to zone 3, you literally become a diamond. You may have diamond hands in zone 1 and zone 2, but in zone 3, you have a diamond mind. In zone 4, you suffer emotional losses and you just say, enough with this. I need to develop a diamond heart so I'm not impacted by what others do. That doesn't mean you don't stand up and do the right thing. You should do that. But it does mean you keep your peace. And therefore, you get happy. A lot of people think financial markets are only about entries and exits. Mindset is the first thing that you actually need to work on. Having an abundance mindset is what professionals do. They know there are always opportunities inside financial markets. They're not focused on scarcity. They're not focused on impatience. They're very patient. They're not dependent on news. They don't follow others. They're independent. They're their own financial advisors. They're calm and balanced as professionals. They don't get angry. They don't blame. They don't get emotional. The retail hype cycle that you'll always see, those up and down, being on the roller coaster, that doesn't enter a professional's mind. They're not on a roller coaster. They know what they're doing. Luck and gambling play absolutely no part in the professional mindset. Analysis does. High leverage, well, professionals can do high leverage from the time to time, but retail does high leverage without understanding or having the emotional control, and they lose their accounts. You don't want negative excellence. You don't want the retail mindset. You want positive excellence and to be smart money, to be a professional. What you will find inside our global family is a family of people spread all around the world of more than 16,000 eagles, 16,000 people who are very, very special. These people care about each other, and we're all following a path to greater abundance, greater happiness, greater success, and greater meaning. Please be a part of our community. Just subscribe. We'd love to have you here. Negative excellence is an insidious thing. It can just creep up and grab you at any time. That's why our daily positive affirmations for abundance, financial success, and happiness are so critical. Always remember, life pullbacks give you the strength for the next life rally, that you are dedicated and committed. You either win or learn and never blame. And every day you show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. Just already, with these simple sentences, with these simple words, you are already living a better life, a more meaningful life. And that is ultimately what it's all about. Become rich internally first, and the wealth of the external world will follow. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.